is that carrier? This is very, very exciting. I don't expect anyone to join me today. We have something happening with the stream. The stream is doing what? Connect. Slower than the recommended rate. They recommend changing something to make it better. So how do we do that? Use an audio stream. So it's the audio stream apparently is not quite what it should be. But I don't know. Maybe it is working fine. Good, good, good. Warning. I am not quite sure how people do this the first time, because there's so much to try and sort out. But at this point, it appears that things are doing what they should be doing. So we're just having a wander around the colony. This is the colony that we created for the raid competition that we had this year. So basically it's all the Patreons who have access to our servers. We were able to come onto this brand new refreshed server, and then we had this exciting competition that spanned it was about I think a 4-week period this time, 4 or 5 weeks, and we had a set of rules that we had to follow. And every week we had a big stream with the Let's Dev Together team, where we had massive raids that were sent against our colonies, just to see how they performed. So I did this all by myself. A lot of people came in with teams, and there was a few of us that came in just singles. And my idea, some people do like really pre-plan for this sort of thing, where they'll really lay out their colonies and play with all the styles and figure out what style they're going to use and stuff like that, figuring out traps and all these kind of crazy things. I am not like that. I definitely I kind of like to just go by the seat of my pants. I don't always join the competitions, but this one I thought sounded really interesting. One of the limitations that we had is we were limited to a colony size and a population size. So we could have a maximum of 100 colonists by the end the last raid, and we were only able to have a space of I think it was 14 chunks across. So when we take a look at this, so it was basically where this kind of wall is in this circle, that's all we were allowed for the base raid. So as you can see, now that the competition is done, I've expanded out a bit, and yeah, so I thought it would be really fun to go with the Lost City Mesa style. It's one that I'd never used before, and I always like to go with something brand new. So because of that, I definitely wanted to go with the area that worked with Mesa. So of course I went with my Cavern supply ship because I love it. It's my favorite ship. And somebody helped me by telling me about this really cool area that had the mesa on the river, because I do like rivers, and things up on a hill. So my idea, this is actually a 2-tiered colony. So the whole center area is where all of my residences and everything were, and there's this whole outside kind of ring area where all of my crafters and all my farms, or not my farms actually, they ended up in the middle. But yeah, so you can see I had this sort of dual ring going on. The idea being that I knew my guards were going to die, but I wanted to hopefully keep my regular citizens safe. So um, barbarians actually have to go through, or the raiders need to go through like 2 sets of gates and things to be able to get to the juicy center of the colony. So yeah, but now that it's done, I'm moving a lot of things around and expanding things out and that sort of thing. But this is what was actually in place for the raid itself, for all the raids. I did pretty well actually. I came in 3rd in the singles out of, there was 6 or 7 singles, and yeah, so I was actually pretty proud of myself because I don't build with, you know, huge walls and traps and things like that. I just kind of went at it as a you know, what a regular player would do, like somebody who doesn't think that way. And yeah, so I thought it was pretty interesting. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun doing that. So I kind of like how everything looks here, and I actually have this bridge going over the river over there, and this is all this orange terracotta. I have this huge area of mesa, but this is all like mostly orange terracotta over here and orange sand, because we do have I think it's like William Withers or something like that. It's a biome terrain mod as part of the pack, and so it changes things up a little bit. But yeah, so I've got my academies down here as sort of the just the entranceway, and I did it that way because I really liked how the towers came up and they kind of mirrored each other. And of course, guard towers all over the place. And then I have this this sort of ring around where I have all my various crafters and things like that. So this is part of the area where I'm in the process of moving a lot of stuff around and yeah, like rearranging. So I do have some areas where I have like random holes and random ponds of water and stuff like that as I move everything around. So you can see I'm fixing this up here. I never got around to making this area really nice. This is where my sifter used to be, so I have this little wet area that I haven't fixed up because I did move the sifter up there because I am creating an area here where it's all the lake kind of area. So I moved it because the way the sifter is, it's kind of a weird building. You kind of have to build it on a hill or it looks really strange. So yeah, so I built that so it's coming into this, and I'm going to do kind of a stream that comes over here, I think. I think this was left over from when I moved the dyer. I think the dyer was here. And I had this all dug out, but I'm going to do something with that. And I'm probably actually going to move this. This is the stonemason right here, so I'm probably going to move this one maybe over there so it goes in with all the other crafters. And then again, I'm just going to kind of expand my lake and my water features and stuff over here because I like lakes and water features and those sort of things. What's interesting is the Lost City Mesa did not yet have a gatehouse. So this competition, we actually had you had like some things that went on in it where you got bonus points if you did certain things, and I did have in the Lost City Mesa. So originally all the buildings were Lost City Mesa except for the very few that the style didn't have, and one of those things was the gatehouse. So I ended up choosing the Shire one. I just thought it looked kind of neat and would be easy to kind of integrate into what I was building. And this is not what I think is intended for the mystical site. So this is the mystical site being Lost City. It is an archaeological dig site, which I thought was cool. And so I put it in this area. So this is part of, it's like an archaeological dig into the mountain where they found this cool thing. So as you know, I like to do stories about everything so that my city makes sense. So yeah, again, this is an area where I'm kind of in the process of moving things around and building things up. So this is kind of neat. We had to have at least one entrance on each side of the colony. So one of the things I did here, because I have this kind of cliff area, I dug this little tunnel through here, and while I was building things, because everything was up on a hill, I had some areas where I kind of like covered the area over and flattened it out to be able to give myself some flat areas to work with for the colony. And when I did that, I ended up creating this space. And when I popped in here by accident one day, I'm like, that's actually pretty cool. We should use that. So now my entrance actually comes in on this side. I haven't finished building this out, but this goes down to the river over there. And I just recently had a raid that broke down my gates here, so I need to put the gates back up. But so the raiders need to come in through here, come in through this second and third set of gates to be able to get in. So the hope is that by doing that, the guard will notice them coming in, will hear them banging on the gates, and then call some other guards, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of a bunch of the raiders in this area before they even get into the colony proper. So, but I thought it was really nice. I put a couple water features in there, and every once in a while I'll come in here and do something. I'm probably going to do something to maybe cover this ceiling a bit more, maybe add some texture, some stalactites or something like that. But we'll see. I may or may not do that. And yeah, so that's one of the entries to the colony. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the barracks, and this is one of the styles where the barracks does have the guard towers in at that auto level, so you just upgrade the barracks and it upgrades everything. They don't all do that, but it was actually pretty handy that that one did that. This was just one of the sort of terraces that I created, and this is a new decoration that I made. So the main part of it, I based it off of, I believe it was a pagoda decoration originally with the wisteria tree. So I took the base decoration, changed out all of the tree wood, changed a bunch of the decorations here, and added the Zen statues. So Cavern does have the Zen statue, the original one, in the courts, I believe it is. And so I created a new set of these in the various materials. So now I have the elemental Zen, and so I kind of showcase them in here. So I have these now, and have them all as separate individual statues, and probably going to get them added into either the mod, or I am working on a sort of a separate little add-on, which is kind of like style colonies, but it's just all my extra bits. So all of my decorations and things like that don't really fit in caverns, so people may not think to look for them. But that's just something I'm kind of working on. So I thought this turned out really, really nice, and an unknowing collaboration between the creator of Pagoda and myself. So I thought that was pretty cool. And again, going with that Lost Cities excavation kind of idea, after the competition finished, this is the Enchanter's Tower. So I don't actually care for the Enchanter's Tower in the Lost Mesa. Some people love it. It's kind of a weird one where it's like got this upside down house on top of a house. But I liked this one. Is actually from the Incan style. And so I popped it in the wall here, and so it looks like it's being excavated out, which I think is cool. And same with this one. This is the Lost City, or sorry, the Incan graveyard. So this one is again pushed into a wall and looks like it's being excavated out. So I'm still kind of working on changing up the ceiling and stuff on that. So having a lot of fun with that sort of thing. I have little terraces of sweet berries all over the place to help me help the kitchen feed the people. This is a builder's hut. I have 3 of them. And this is another one where it's kind of weird. You have to build it on a hill or it doesn't really work right. I'm gonna see if I can convince the builder or the designer to put an alternative one that doesn't have to be built like this, because it had to take some creative work to make that kind of fit in there. And then the central plaza, so one of the parts of the raid that we had to do for bonus points was have I think it was a 32 by 32 space in the center of the colony that didn't have any huts, so it was just purely decorative. This was originally based on, I believe it was an oasis. I think it was the oasis style. So I just made some changes to it to make it fit the mesa style a bit better, changed up the edges, and hello, somebody has actually joined me. Hello, Darking. It's so exciting to see you here. This is my first stream ever, just trying to figure out the settings and everything, so let me know if everything sounds okay, looks okay. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just doing a tour through my colony and talking about all the things if somebody wanted to watch later. So one thing I'm not sure, I think I have some music running on the stream, so let me know if you hear any music, because I don't hear it at my side. But yeah, thank you for being awesome and joining me here. It's my little friend. I call her Tiny Diamond. Sounds pretty good. Yay! Thank you so much. This Tiny Diamond, she pretends she's a pirate. She jumped into this boat and I left her there because I'm always so terrified of losing her anytime I go adventuring. Yeah, so where are we? We're kind of wandering around the center part of the colony. You can't hear any music. Okay, so that is something I'm gonna have to figure out and fix. It looks to me like it should be running, but yeah, I'll figure that out for next time. So thank you for that bit of feedback. Yeah, so this colony, so part of the competition, we had the maximum of the 100 people or 100 citizens. And you're currently, you're playing your own mind pack. I definitely love making my own mod packs because it's you can make sure that you have your own quality of life stuff in it, because some other packs, they just put things that are too tough for me, and quite often the Minecolonies Patreon packs have a lot of mods in it that make things super hard. This raid competition was actually it's one of the most close to vanilla packs I think we've had since like early on the beginning, because yeah, I can step outside my colony borders and not have everything trying to murder me, which is super awesome. Mostly because the food situation definitely is a challenge. The new food system, trying to keep everybody fed and everything. Yeah, the devs definitely like adventure and combat. They're huge into combat, but they're also people that like they tend to think more in the hardcore mode. So they're like getting in there and getting that like diamond and netherite stuff right away, and I'm like, I've never even picked up a piece of ancient debris. So I'm like, yeah, I play it because I like to be, calm, and I like to just tootle around and do my thing. But they like to go out and have actual like crazy combat adventures. But you know what? I mean, each to their own. But I am really glad that they went a little softer this time, so that I'm actually spending a lot more time playing in the pack. So that's been yeah, just here to build my colony. But then again, that's the other thing where there's some people that the colony building is secondary, where for me that's what I'm doing. The adventure part outside of I leave the colony to get the things I need to build the colony, not to go out and do dungeons and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So yeah, but I did really, really enjoy this competition, honestly, like with the various challenges and things that we had. But yeah, we had to build entirely with the one style. So that was really nice. Like even having to use buildings that I didn't particularly like the look of them, which is you can't completely love every building in every style. Even with some of um, my cavern stuff, I build it and then I look at it after. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if I love it. Um, so I mean, definitely that's the thing. But a lot of it I totally love, and you get up to the higher levels on these. So these are all pretty much maxed out, and there's tons of gold. There's so much gold in this style. So I had to go do extra mining and stuff like that to get the gold. Yeah, found out actually that one of the best ways to get gold is to make sure that you're all set with your, piece of gold to wear and everything, and then go out into the nether with a silk touch pickaxe. And so I was like picking up all of the gold ore in the nether and bringing it back and smelting it, because if you just break it with your regular pickaxe, you get the gold nuggets, but if you smelt the ore block, you actually get a full ingot out of it. So that was a really great tip that I got from somebody, and so managed to get all the gold. Because the devs, one of the other things that they decided to do was add this crazy statue as one of the bonus item things. So this thing, so if you ever watch the Colonies devs, their streams, they built it on stream, I think. And so this thing is insane. And especially for somebody building by themselves and not on not in a team, like having to do it, like it's so much gold. Oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. This thing is huge. Maybe I'll bust out to this side of the colony so you can get a good look at it. But it's so huge, and it had to be kind of central to the colony. And be really kind of like prominent. But look at this thing. it's massive. And I really kind of liked the idea of having it looking out over the edge and sort of surveying the area, and so I'm kind of thinking of him as like a protective guardian of some kind. And when he was just there by himself, it was like I don't know, it felt really weird, so that's why I grew the jungle trees. And I'm in one of those areas that grows these massive trees, so they did grow nice and big. And I thought he just looked really, really nice, sort of framed by those trees. I know some people after the competition were looking at taking down their big statues, but he was already there, and so he's going to be there forever. But so that was using up like all this gold. It was insane. And then of course my colony is asking for all this gold everywhere. So much gold, oh my goodness. But in even some of the level 5 buildings in this style, the guys are, in my opinion, a little bit mean. There is like blocks of framed diamond, like diamond blocks. So a lot of those there is, and there was a couple of huts that needed framed like blocks of netherite. And I'm like, I don't even have enough netherite to like make myself anything. And I'm having to put it into my buildings. And of course, being DO framed blocks, you can't pull that block back out and use it again later. So it is, when it gets up to level 5, it definitely is a tougher style for some of those kind of blocks and materials. But yeah, I think the whole thing turned out really, really really, really nicely. And there was a lot of the competition colonies that were having a huge amount of trouble fitting everything in, because again, um, one of the bonus things that we did have is if you had every hut. Um, Obviously, there was a couple of exceptions. We didn't have to have the quarry, um, and I think it was just the quarry we didn't have to have. But surprisingly, the Mesa, Lost City Mesa style, the huts are really reasonably sized, which is, I say surprising because John and Ray and Sam tend to build some of these like ridiculously large hut sizes, but this one like they're all really like, these are my crafters and they're all like really reasonably sized. So I ended up finishing getting one of every hut, at like a minimum of one of every hut, and like had tons of room. So I didn't actually have anything in this area originally. Um, but now I'm moving like a whole bunch of my courier huts over here for a little like courier compound, and working on this side of the colony and starting to get lots of decorations and me and my water features. I love my water features. So I got all this, and like this whole center area, like I've got nothing in all these areas. This I'm in the process of rebuilding. I've got to line it with stone. It was funny because the raiders on one of the raids, they came up on the top over here, and they actually came and they dug through this dirt ceiling and came into the colony this way, which was actually pretty funny. Um, and yes, this is again one of my entrances. This Sorry about that. This normally is an iron gate, but I just had a raid and I haven't replaced it yet. The Yeah, bright water features in a savanna. But what's so funny is because it's like the savanna backing onto the jungle area and this humid tropical area. So I think it makes sense. I'm an oasis. I'm a perfectly wonderful oasis in the middle of a savanna. 'Cause that's how I roll, right? That's what I do. And of course, now that the competition's over, I did have to add a bit of cavern because that's how I roll. So these are, it was a way for me to do a secure residence area. So I've just got these. These are the obviously the alt residences from Cavern, and I might even if the raiders start coming towards this area more than once, I might do a secondary gate system just to protect a little bit more. But so far they've pretty much ignored trying to get in there. And I've had 3 raids, I think, that came into this side. So yeah, definitely had to get a little bit of the cavern in on things. One of the things that I definitely did hugely different on this one than what I've done in the past is I'm kind of one of those people. I do, one of every hut and then multiples of the ones you have to, like the residents and the guard towers and the couriers. But in the past, I've only ever had like one of each of the herders. But with the way the food system works, I actually ended up with 2 or 3 of every one of the herders. And now that I have 3 of everything, I'm finally starting to get on top of the food needs. I have 2 restaurants on either side of the colony, or like one on either side of the colony, and 2 kitchens. Because one thing that's really interesting is during the raid competitions, and when you watch the devs during their things, sometimes they'll drop little tidbits of information. One of the things that Ray did say during this one was that in a sort of a full-size colony, he expects that you would have a couple of kitchens and a couple of restaurants for a couple of reasons. So that like all the residents on this side of the colony have less travel time to get to the restaurant, obviously. And also, if one of your chefs comes down with an illness or something like that, the citizens can always go to the other restaurants. So it made sense when he talked about that. Yeah, constantly asking for wheat and milk and fish. So I currently have 6 farmers, um, and I'm finally catching up on all of the crops and stuff. And with the fish, mine are still also asking for fish. I have 2 fishermen right now, and I'm looking at in that the lake area on the other side. I'm looking at putting in a 3rd fisherman to try and catch up on that. Part of that problem is because of where I am. I catch, well, I mean, like they always do, they catch a ton of the cod and a lot less of the salmon, and I can use the salmon but not the cod. So you do have to increase your fishermen to keep up with the salmon. And the other thing is I currently have one warehouse with the 10 couriers, and I know a lot of people do multiple warehouses. I have a lot of problems wrapping my brain around how that works for with requesting items and stuff like that, and how they keep it straight between the two. So I still just have the one, but my couriers do get a little bit overloaded. So I have these extra fields of wheat over here. So I'll just like run by as I'm doing various other things, and I'll just quickly harvest it myself and distribute the wheat and the seeds and stuff like that to the various herders. But yeah, now that I've got 3 of each, and I currently have about 145 colonists, I think. And it definitely, this food balancing thing has been the most challenging. And one of the reasons that the guys do have the competitions with the Patreons is because it helps them stress test the systems. And so they do end up making a lot of changes and improvements to things over the course of the raids, which I love. So you built a 2nd warehouse, you ran out of space. Oh yeah, I do tend to go in and review what's in the warehouse quite frequently. So if I start getting too much of a certain crop or something like that, I'll go and I'll compost a bunch of it. I pull logs out a lot. So my lumberjack, I had all kinds of logs from all the trees, but I'd gotten up to like 11,000 acacia logs or something like that. So I grab a bunch of them and turn them into charcoal. And he is currently limited to a tiny little spot over here, and he's allowed to chop down 1 giant mushroom because I have him doing the mushrooms, because one of my menu items is the mushroom pizza. So that's all he's allowed to chop down right now, because he was just filling the warehouse up, which was crazy. So I do review it, and you're right, that's definitely a problem. It's mine was easier once I got my warehouse up to the level 5, because I was able to do that emerald block increase. So I definitely do that. My warehouse is up to its maximum, and it's pretty okay. Especially with being on the server here, we've got other people that will ask for, if you have like a ton of dirt or something like that. Bows, boots, and fishing poles. Okay, so that is definitely something you need to be aware of. The boots. I constantly go in and I pull out dozens of pairs of leather boots, because when you have more fishermen, they're pulling up more leather boots. And so I'll all of a sudden realize that half of my guards are running past me wearing these leather boots, and I'm like, you guys are all in diamond armor. Why do you have leather boots on? So I always take the boots away from them as they run by. But then I'll go and check the warehouse, and yeah, there'll be like stacks of them. So I'll pull them out, and honestly at this point I just destroy them, because I can't do anything with them, which is a bit of a bummer. Down there I've got my personal cow pen, because especially early on, before I got the extra cattle farmers up, I was doing
breed them and murder them myself kind of deal to try and keep up with the food needs. But so yeah, so I've got this really great district of herders going on over here, which I think looks really great. I love the tiers, like how I ended up with the tiers of colony. I think it really gives it a lot of personality. There's definitely some of the other colonies, like they just made everything completely flat to try and maximize the space they had so they could fit in all their buildings. But I really liked this. Now, with the competition itself, we weren't allowed to stack buildings really. Like every building had to be like kind of on like ground level and open to the air, so we couldn't put anything underneath. Nothing underground. We weren't able to use. They did outlaw Fortress on this last one, which I thought was really funny because in the previous competition, like everybody used Fortress, but then we ended up with there was I think three colonies or four. I think it was three that used Cavern and just built it on the surface, which I thought was hilarious. It was so weird to see Cavern out in the open. Like I don't know. It was just very, very strange to me. But yeah, they ended up making these like really great extra facades and stuff like that. So it ended up being really cool, but so weird to see. But yeah, so we had all of this where we weren't able to build underground. So I tried to maximize my space. Like these two are like right next to each other, but because they're vertically but next to each other, I was able to get away with it. The gatehouse over there, again, that was the Shire gatehouse, same as on the other side of the colony. There was actually like this giant hole in this section, and so I used the gatehouse to block the top of the hole and then built up the sides a bit. So this it's not natural, but I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna make this look much nicer. Maybe another mural. So this is a fun mural that I made just using the pixel art from the internet, and put this together and had one of my builders pop it up on the wall. So maybe I'll just make more of those to put on all the other walls. I have a chicken one that I've built and just haven't put up yet. And so maybe I'll do various other animals and things like that and make all the walls look really pretty. And yeah, I still need to add like a whole bunch of like various gardens and stuff like that up here. So this is a fairly new area. When you take a look at the map, my original colony borders are right here, so this is all an expanded area out. And what else? What else? I do like the herders in this one. They are much larger. Maybe geometric patterns. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. The one that I did here, these aren't full blocks. These are all the panels from DO. Um, and so yeah, it's like a layer of the moss panels, and then on top of it the colored ones. So yeah, actually some geometric patterns, maybe in those same color blocks or something, would look really nice. I will play around with that. Thank you very much. I always get the best ideas from you. And let's see what else. This is a visual bug that the guys are aware of. I think is trying to get rid of it, but it's funny because Caden here will actually be running around the colony somewhere working just fine, but it's a desyncing issue, I think is what they said it was, between the client and the server. Sometimes, yeah, and then he pops out and fixes himself, but sometimes they get so bad, they sit there for so long that they actually go red. They're like red and angry. It really makes me laugh. Some people get kind of angry about it, but I think it's super hilarious. So one thing I'm actually preparing to do, one of the things we learned a lot about is the gatehouses and how they work. Yeah, relogging does fix it. So if I get a whole bunch of them around the colony that are doing that, I'll just pop out to the menu and pop back in, and everybody's back to doing what they're supposed to be doing. So for me personally, knowing that they are doing their jobs somewhere, it doesn't generally bother me unless there's one like twerking in front of me while I'm trying to work. Then I'll be like, okay, let's fix that. So yeah, there's that. But talking about the sizes of the huts, like this is the residence. And as far as residence huts go in any style, this is like one of the smallest. It actually has a super small footprint, and they live like downstairs here. Um, yeah, like one of the smallest ones, which again, for something built by John and Ray and Sam, pretty unusual. So that's probably why it was so easy for me to fit everything. Yeah. So there's that. And again, they have some of these huts where you really have to build them on a hill or a dual level kind of thing. This is the composter. And I think what they did here is really hilarious. Like it definitely looks like an actual compost pile that's got like the steam coming off of it, because compost piles tend to be really hot with decomposing stuff going on. So I really like the building, but it was definitely a brain challenge to make it look like it fit here. Um, and they did that. They did that a lot. These are the farms. Normally, I would have had a separate district for my farms on the outer edge, the same way as I did with herders, but because of the way that the crops work, with only growing in their certain biomes, a lot of them, um, I did have this bit of this humid tropical grassland right in the middle, or humid tropical, yeah, grassland. Again, this was because of that the biome mod that we had that changes things up, but only this section right here would grow these certain crops. So I ended up having to put my farms here so I could put my fields here. But I don't know. I think in the end it ended up looking pretty nice. So I have 3 of my farms up here. The 4th one over there growing the basics of the garlic and the durum wheat and stuff, and then 2 on the outer side that I've added since then, which are growing like carrots, potatoes, wheat, and again the regular stuff that I don't have to worry about what biome I'm in for that. And once I did that, like getting up to 6 farmers, I'm pretty much on top of all of that stuff. Like taking a look at my requests right now, I am currently short on apples, but I'm leaving the apple pie on the menu at the moment until they're all eaten, because I was like, I had a whole bunch of apples, so I'm like, okay, let's throw that on the menu for a while. And once I'm able to sort of check around and see that there's no more apple pies floating around, I'll actually take it off the menu. So I'm just kind of ignoring that one right now. And as you said with the fish, like they're constantly still asking for the raw salmon. So I'm going to throw up that 3rd fisherman and see if that that fixes the problem. And again, I've got this like personal field of the wheat right here, so I just kind of pick it up as I go by and distribute it to the herders as I do. And this guy he's actually, the town hall is only at level 4 right now, because this was one of the ones that it wanted something that was difficult to get, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have been because it wanted all this gold, and I needed all that gold at the time to build all the other things. So I still have to finish upgrading this guy. One of the things that actually I didn't like about how they did this one is they did move the beds. They need to add more cod recipes. Actually, one thing that we're pushing for in the Patreon suggestions is we want them to make the fish and chips have it as an option for cod, because as somebody who comes from a British Empire kind of country, salmon does not belong in fish and chips. Cod belongs in fish and chips, or halibut if you're doing a less greasy fish. So we're trying to get them to make that recipe accept either one. The same as like the fried rice will accept a bunch of the other meats. Um, so there's that. But yeah, that's definitely something um, we've been talking to them about. But yeah, the first couple of levels of the town hall, you're very welcome. We work for you. I work for you. um, what was it? Yeah, the beds were originally down here, and on I think it was the level 3 upgrade. They moved the beds upstairs. I don't like when beds move. That makes me a little bit cranky. Not a huge deal because this isn't for the citizens. It's I just happen to be using the ones in the town hall, but I didn't like that. That did not make me happy. Yeah, fish and chips do use cod. Exactly, right? I'm not the only one who thinks that, and half of the people on the Patreon Discord feel the same. So we're trying to fix that. But it definitely, but where you're trying to get on top of the food situation, when you run by and all of a sudden you realize your entire colony is stuck in this area right here, trying to get fed, and because you're what is it? It's called the waiter now in the restaurant or in the diner. They might be sick or something like that. So that one's super, super fun. Um, but they have actually made a bunch of changes, even during the competition. Like as each update came in through the competition, they made adjustments um, to food requirements and things like that, and food consumption. They made a bunch of requirements to the guards and how the guards work. Some of the mechanics of how the raiders work. So what I was saying, right at the beginning of the stream, is that they use these competitions to improve the mod, which is pretty cool. And I'm always a little bit proud to be one of those people stress testing and making the Minecolonies mod better. So yeah, it's definitely a process. You can see now we've got messages coming up for Santa's Colony, as has been happening in the last few years. As when the raid competition finishes, we have the colony for the giant tree, the Christmas tree style, which is a community project. I mostly donate supplies. Take a whole bunch of stuff over there as it's needed. I have gone over and done a little bit of diggy hole where I'll help dig out areas. But we actually have Patreons who did not join for the competition, who jumped on afterwards and have been just building the Santa Colony, which is pretty cool. So I think maybe on the maybe if this works out and I can figure out that music situation, I'll do another stream and we'll wander around the current status of the Christmas colony. But I do know the devs on their streams, they do that as well. Um, but it's always great to go over and take a look at how they're doing. Um, and they're doing a fantastic job. It's going up really, really great. If you've never seen the tree in its finished glory, it is definitely a sight to see. So that one's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'll spend some time over there working on that as well. Here's another one of my sweet berry fields. So one of the things that ended up saving my butt, saving my colony when they where they've run out a whole bunch of supplies and are starving, is I got the first herders where I did multiples of them was the cattle herder, the cowboy, and had them pulling milk. So they really struggle at first, but once you get up to 2 or 3 of them, I actually ended up starting to get the milk bottles piling up in the warehouse. But it's actually good to have that, because when they start starving, there are Minecolonies food recipes that we can create that don't require being done by the kitchen, and one of them is the yogurt and berries. So, and it's one of the items that is a satisfying item, so you can feed that right up to the level 5. And so with all of these berry farms that I have all over the place, I can run around the colony, pick all of these berries, take some of the milk that I have sitting in my warehouse, turn that into yogurt, and then create the yogurt and berries. And I can use that to feed my entire colony and get everybody working again. Um, so that saved my colony once I figured out that I could do that. But the key to that is getting those berries sort of like all over your colony and getting those cattle herders up, the cowboys up really quickly so that you have all that milk available to you to be able to do that. So yeah, it's definitely been a challenge figuring out how to make the food system work. But once I got all those extra herders, um, I I haven't had a starvation event, which I'm pretty proud of that because it was happening a lot. If you watched any of the streams for the raids during the competition, like we had on one of the days, it was like as we hit each colony for the raids themselves, there was like 4 colonies on that day where we arrived and they were having a starvation event. And the people who own the colony were like, I was here just last night and logged off and everybody was fine. And now we're on and all of a sudden everybody's starving. So it can happen so fast and happen like almost without warning because you're like, you tend to on the clipboard, like these are the most important ones where it's like we're saying, the player has to provide these things, but in the regular requests, the ones that aren't just the important ones, I've got all of this other stuff where they want it, but like so you may not note that all of a sudden you are out of like one ingredient for every dish, or so it's so easy to get into a starvation event. Um, and that's tough. It was, I had one, I think on one of my raids, I think my first one, I had a partial starvation event happening when I got into my raid time. But yeah, it's super fun, and because of this, I ended up I actually have a new tool that I made using spreadsheets and things that other people had started creating. A little website that you can pop in what ingredients you have, and it will tell you what foods you can make. Um, so that's something I've been working on. Something I did for fun, and I'm sharing it on the. I know for sure I've shared it on the Patreon Discord. I think I've put it on the regular Discord as well. I'm pretty sure. Um, to help out. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should go find it. It's pretty cool, and it also separates out and shows you a list of things that you can make yourself. So if you can like go to the warehouse and find that you've got the specific ingredients for a meal that you don't have on the menu, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, I actually have all of these ingredients. That you can make that stuff and prevent your next starvation event. Yeah, so there's that. That's something else I've been working on, which is super fun. Maybe I'll do a separate little video about that to tell people about it. But I think my next big regular video is going to be about the gatehouses, because with being on the server and one of the things we did have to have for the bonus points in the competition was to be directly connected to at least two other colonies, and so you have to actually like run, physically from one colony to the next with your signs, dropping your signs down every 50 blocks. which, if your colonies are being built fairly close together, isn't a huge problem. But we've got a lot of our colonies are like 5 or 6 thousand or more blocks away from each other. So my first one that I ran my colony connection from me down to Greyhaven. So he was almost 5,000 blocks away, and I ran all through here, dropping the signs every 50 blocks, which was super super fun. Um, yeah, oh yeah, built a gatehouse in Aquatica. So I'm not quite sure how they've done that one. It must be um, have a surface access or something. I haven't taken a look at it yet. How you would have to do that. Um, Important to have it though, because they have like a lot of really cool plans for the gatehouse. So what they've got now is the when you teleport between colonies now, once you're connected, you show up at the gatehouse, and they've got visitors showing up in the gatehouse, and the future plans for trading and stuff like that, like traders are going to be coming in and out of the gatehouse. So it's going to be important eventually for every style to have it. And those of us active builder designers right now are looking at all of the various styles and seeing what we can do to help get a gatehouse in every style. Um, so yeah, so I didn't build a proper road for my trip down to Gray's place. I just sort of ran through the woods. Um, but one of the other players, Batatinka, she actually like built a proper road, um, and it's like huge. So it goes over to my colony, and then she actually ran it all like she built this crazy road. It's like 3 blocks wide. It's like this huge road. It was crazy, but it meant that when I ran a connection over to the new um, Christmas colony, I was able to just like run along the road and um, drop a sign every 50. So that one was actually pretty easy for me to do. And that's, I think, the intention of the devs is they want you to build that really nice trade road in between the colonies, and then um, drop your signs as you go. So, and again, with the way we had a lot of trouble trying to figure out some of the mechanics of the trading system or of the gatehouse system, they did make a bunch of updates to that as well during the competition. So it's really important for Patreons to remember that we are the main testers for the mod when they put anything new. So there's a hole in the bottom floor leads into the water. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So you're kind of thinking it's like being in an aquatic style that people are using their swimming skills and stuff to come in. I like that. It's like a moon pool kind of thing. That kind of that appeals to me. I like it. I like it. I'll have to take a look. Um, yeah, and this is an area that I'm working on, and as you can see, it doesn't look finished because it's not. So that's what we're doing here. I'm probably gonna keep the water and do something with it. Gonna make this whole area kind of I'm gonna do like bridges over little rivers running in between and that sort of thing, so make it look really really nice. I'm excited about this. This is just a space to build my jungle stuff, because I'm doing all of my roads and things in the jungle. And I may end up actually designing the gatehouse for Lost City Mesa, because it's one of the sort of the build team, the dev team styles. Um, and one of the things that I think it was Mubian noted was that I am, or no, it was probably Motionless Train. I'm incapable of playing a style and not building extra huts to go with it. So I'll build like alternatives to huts that annoyed me during the build and that sort of thing. So I may end up doing that, building alternatives to a couple of the huts that I had a lot of trouble with, and building the gatehouse and that sort of thing. You got to find a good place to put it. So you definitely, so one of the things that's going to be in my guide video for the gatehouse is the gatehouse. You've got to put it at the edge of your colony. So the one on this side, this is the very edge of my colony. I'm not expanding any further out this way. The one on the other side is actually inside. Oh, hello, Flynn. Hi, whoop, live chat. My very first one. So I'm taking all kinds of feedback, please. I know there's supposed to be music. There isn't music because it looks to me like it's working, but it's not. So I got to figure that out. But welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here. Um, yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, the gatehouse. Because the one on the other side of the colony was further into the colony, I actually, when one of the other colonies connected to me, they ended up dropping like 3 or 4 signs inside my colony borders, which is fine. I've got it set up that anybody coming into my colony can do that because I know people are making connections. But when I was building in those areas later, like trying to move those signs to new places is not the easiest thing. You generally need to get the new person or the original person to come back and move things, and then you can accidentally disconnect everything, and it's kind of a hassle. So if you can pre-plan ahead and use the guard tower leapfrogging system and that to get your borders out to where they're going to be and get that gatehouse on the very edge, that's definitely what you want to do. Because if you don't do that, you'll end up with other people's random signs. Yeah, exactly. Whoever that guard was, Philip. Yeah, Philip's got it right. Uh, they'll you'll end up with these random signs inside your colony. So you definitely don't want that if you can avoid it. So yeah, these guys need to catch more salmon. They're not catching enough salmon, so we're going to put a third one. I'm thinking, because I've got the starting of this lake here, so this is the original sort of lake area that comes with the fisher hut, and then I added the middle bit, and I think I'm going to do where I've got a lake, or like a little river that comes across into this side, and I'll put another fisher on this side and make this more a kind of a lake. I think, or I might be moving the stonemason up there, and because I have this bit of lake coming here, I might put another fisher here and connect it on this side. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, there's so many options of what I can do. But yeah, and what else? What else have I got going on? This is a stair that I have going here. I originally, in order to get, yes, Flynn, this is my raid competition town. I am in the process of expanding things out, moving various huts around from where I had to put them in order to stay within the borders, expanding my districts out, changing some huts to different styles so that they work better for me. Like this corner here, I did have the Lost City Mesa Enchanter's Tower right here because I was hiding it as much as possible. So I had the tower, and then I had a guard tower right next to it, and this was kind of bigger, so I was like, just hide it in the corner, so it was there. But now I've taken it out and moved it around to the other side, using the Incan one built into a hill. So having a lot of fun moving things around and kind of doing my vision. Like this was originally the Lost City Mesa Great. No, what was it? No, this was originally this same thing, but it was just out in the open. And because I'm now allowed to do whatever I want, I moved it into this hill that I still had. And I think it looks super, super cool. It has, I think I'm at level 4 on this one. Let's go take a look. And it is fun. They do, these are actually 2 of my builders who currently have nothing to do because I haven't given them new jobs. Vincent and Miller have been working very, very hard, so I'm letting them have a little tiny break. Oh, it's actually only at 3rd level, so I do still have to increase this quite a bit. And then once that's done, like I'll finish up. these round the ceiling out and put various things around the edges, open it up and make it look more like a cave. And I still don't know what to do on the outside of this hill. So slowly working on that. And here I'm probably going to put some more fields. Another thing that I like to do with my farmers is that I don't necessarily just have 5 fields for every farmer. I like to have fields that are uh, like all the crops. So I'll have all the crops, and if I say end up where I have like way too many chickpeas or something like that, I'll leave the field of the chickpeas there, and then I'll just have another field that I'll switch the farmer over to. Um, and then, like, I'll switch them over to like wheat or garlic or something that I'm low on. But then if I start running low on chickpeas, I'll just switch them back to that same field. So I don't necessarily switch the fields over, I'll actually just switch fields. Um, so that is something I like to do, because then when they start working that field again, usually it's at a stage where it's ready to harvest, so you'll get that first harvest of that crop right away. So I like to do that. So with my 6 farmers, I might end up where I've got like 40 fields or something, instead of 30. So that's often something that I like to do with my farmers. I've got the nether. This is the nether miner, nether mine, and I have not actually assigned anybody to it. I'm getting it up to level 5, and then I might assign somebody to it, because nether miners have such a short lifespan, um, that yeah, so you built 3 farmers, 4 small fields each. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I also tend to build smaller fields. I haven't done any tests yet to find out what the yield difference is between building like maximum size fields or the smaller fields. I think because they go through the same cycles, when a field is ready to harvest, they're going to harvest it regardless of the size. Um, so I personally think that they work fairly close to the same. Um, but you can get more of that variety, that ability to switch between fields, when you build a bunch of the smaller ones. So I love how this looks at night with the glowberries and everything there, and I love how this looks like archaeological digs. Super makes me happy. So this is this is that graveyard, from the Incan style, which originally was the Lost Mesa style, and it was over where the Fisher guys are now. And another one of my berry fields. You do have to, when you put them down, I don't know if you've done berry fields, but you do have to put something on top to keep the derps from running over them. And I had 3 couriers die on the berries before I put these up. So very smart to do. You're maintaining 70 people with 3 farmers and 4 fields each. Yeah, no, that sounds like something that's doable. You have to be really, really diligent about choosing the right recipes and keeping on top of that for sure. I'm at a point now where, like I said, I haven't had a starvation. You missed the conversation on it where it's a bit earlier, where I haven't had a starvation event in a while, which is really awesome. Super happy about that. But I have, quite a varied menu, so I don't even get complaints anymore, because I have more than enough things on my menu to be able to keep them from complaining. Super helps that the area that I picked, I was lucky that I have a couple of I can grow everything except the cold weather crops, because I got super lucky with these couple of sections in the middle. So I'm able to grow the hot and humid, the hot and dry, the temperate, and all the regular stuff. Um, yeah, rotating the farmers between the fields. I think that's so much better, than than swapping the fields themselves. Because when you do, like, so this field, so the soybeans, it's that's one that's not being actively harvested right now, or actively worked by a farmer. But if I start running low on them, I could just switch over, and the first thing they'll be able to do is harvest this field. So um, yeah, I think that's super, super important. But they have made some changes to, like Ray just recently made some changes to how the fields themselves work. So it was working where if the field itself showed the seed, the whole field would be able to grow that seed. And so it was looking at the placement of the field scarecrow itself. Yeah, exactly. Like minds, beautiful minds, brilliant minds always think alike, right? Um, but yeah, so Ray made the change. It used to be that whatever the field was, the entire field would be able to accommodate that, and now it doesn't. It's actually also looking at the block where the field is planted. So I had this sitting as the tomatoes for a while, and half the field is, so if you can see, so right now I'm in tropical forest. I don't know if you can see it under where my mini map is, but on this side I'm in humid tropical grassland. So this side can grow tomatoes, that side cannot grow tomatoes. So what was happening is the tomatoes were being planted, and she was planting everything in the field because the field marker told her that she could do it. But then the crops were actually popping off on the wrong side. So you do have to actually right now be aware of that and be careful of that. So I switched this over to another crop. We've We're in the process of begging the dev team to switch that back because it's a pain in the tuchus. And when I'm really not sure how many tomatoes I may have lost, because if they're popping out and nobody ends up picking it up on the way by, like you lose that tomato when it despawns, right? So we're in the process of begging for that to be changed back because we don't like it. It was a few of us that it took some time to really notice it as well, because like everything seemed to be working fine. The field that was getting planted, everything was fine, and then when you run by and there's nothing there, you're like, oh, they must have just harvested it. But it's not until you start running by and it's like, why? Like when I think it was it may have been Gino had noted, actually was like standing there when a couple of his fields popped. So now that's something we're aware of, and hopefully they will make that change. But we're also still trying to get the plantation field issue. That one, I haven't been doing any new plantation fields, so I'm not quite sure what that particular one is. Is it the one where things just aren't tagging properly? Because I know that was a thing where things just weren't, the tags were coming in funny for that. But yeah, plantation fields are a challenge as well. These guys, I've just got them doing cactus for composting and sugarcane, but I really should have another sugarcane field that I put. I might put one over here. I just have to find one of the ones that looks nice here. Yeah, that one. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's a problem with the balm. But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like when we do these Patreon servers and stuff like that, we notice these things and report it. And like anytime you notice any sort of weird issue, like it's always really awesome to report it, because they can't fix a problem if they're not aware of it. But what I'm hoping and what we keep asking for, and maybe it will happen one day, is something like greenhouses or hot houses where you can, have like an expensive build that you can do that will allow you to grow the crops from other biomes. Which would be really cool, because like if I was able to do, and it looks great, thank you, I'm like super super happy with it, and I still have a whole bunch of changes to make, and honestly, like this Lost Mesa style is gorgeous. I think I'm really really kind of happy with it. But yeah, like if I could build a greenhouse that could be, I could add certain things to make it, compatible with the cold biome, then I would be able to grow every crop type and have every kind of meal on my menu. So that would be pretty cool. But I understand there's a lot of crazy background that is involved in the programming of that. So, and Mr. Villager One, hello, welcome, joining. I'm very excited to have you here. This is my very first live stream. I've never, well, I say very first. I did a trial live stream with just my buddy Gino Tad, just to make sure that my mic was working a while ago, and today was the first time I gathered up the courage to try. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm very excited to have you here. Yeah, so lots of things still. Like I've got still a couple of areas where because the couriers, when they get leveled up, they get too fast and they can actually run off the edge and accidentally unalive themselves, which does happen. But I have a lot of these areas which I haven't done anything with yet. They can, so the guards will go places they're not supposed to be. Yeah, and you know me, I'm always putting in water features and stuff all over the place because I do like that. But I'll see guards like running along this area over here, and I'm like, guys, I built you roads. I built you roads for a reason. You're supposed to use them. My goodness. Yeah, so if there's any, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. I think I need to hydrate better before I start so that I don't get dry mouth running through it. Yes, this is Lost Mesa City. Almost every hut in the style or in the colony here is Lost Mesa City because that was part of the requirements for the competition that we did, which was super fun. I've got some of my own builds. Obviously, this is the hive. I'd originally built this hive for the cavern, the mega hall. Which one did I put it in? I think I put it in the forestry hall. And originally I had this where it was the hive was on the ground, the apiary, but I ended up where all my bees were getting lost constantly because my guards kept running through it because it was on the ground, which is why in the forestry mega hall the hive has now been flipped upside down and is on the ceiling. But I still really liked this hive, so it's actually in there as a decoration. Or no, I think I have it in cavern as an alternative, which you can build with any style, but I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna make sure that this one is in as a decoration. But it's one of the builds that I will be putting into the personal add-on that I'm doing, the add-on mod. So like you've got Style Colonies, which has all those extra styles, and I know Shire has, what's it called? I think Shire Editions. Yeah, choice, right? You can do what you want. But I think there's Shire editions, and then some of the other styles are coming in as like individual add-on mods. So I'm working on one which is just all of my little extra sort of decorative utility builds and things like that, just all in one place, because so much of what I build isn't actually cavern. It doesn't actually, like, it's something where you can build in not cavern. So yeah, I'm working on putting that together, so if people wanted to, they could just add that on and have all my extra bits and pieces there. I was talking earlier about how my forester right now, he is only allowed to chop down the one mushroom tree. So he obviously just finished chopping this one down, but yeah, I've got the where you get the wand. It is a new-ish microphone. Thank you very much. It's what is it? I can't remember what the model is, but it looks like a professional one. Like when people are streaming and show themselves, it looks very, very professional. And it wasn't all that expensive. I think it was only like $60 or $70 on Amazon. Um, so long, how long is this colony standing? So for Mr. Villager, this colony um, has been going for, I want to say, 2 months, because we had a month of the competition itself, and then the bits after that, while we're still going, and I've been helping out with the Santa colony, which maybe I'll take a look at next time. So this is a 2 month old colony, but I play a lot, so don't tell everybody how much I play, but it's way more than a sane person should. And Flynn, you're right. I mean, are other builds besides Cavern. I know it's hard to remember that because Cavern is so like epic, but honestly, I love combining Cavern with other styles. Like when I find an area of the world that suits a certain style, like I love building like a whole top side and then just put like all the extraneous bits downstairs. It's not more than me. I don't know. We could compare ours. Maybe we'll do that on one of these streams. We'll have everybody compare ours and see who's actually the biggest Minecolonies Minecraft nerd. We we can do that. It's unhealthy, the amount that I play, honestly. But yeah. So again, this was because we had to have an entrance on all sides of the colony. Originally, this was just a gated entry, and I did close it up because it does it provides an entrance from the outside directly into my center section, which has all my residences, um, with all my residences, so I wanted to keep them extra safe. So now there's a secondary entrance over here. And I'm going to change this wall out, I think, to this brick, just so that it sort of melds in a little bit better. But again, I just recently had a raid where they broke the iron gates, and I still have to replace that. But now that I was able to expand out this side, there is another entrance. This is a leftover from that last raid, but this is a work in progress. So they come in from the outside through these two sets of gates, bringing them into the herder area. And so there's at least 3 gates between the outside and the residential areas, um, on all sides. So yeah, this is and again, I'm kind of working on this area as well. This bit here is no, I am not in creative mode. I wish I was. That is actually the hardest thing with coming and playing on the server, because I'm not able to just jump up and look at everything. I might actually, y'all know how the nether and the end kind of scare me. Falling into the void is terrifying, but I might actually see if I can get somebody to help me get an elytra so that I can fly up and stuff. Or maybe I'll do, well, let's see, let's try this. I have a stack of, we do have the backpacks mod, though it's nerfed a bit. Oh, I thought I had some scaffolding, but oh, I do. There it is. Let's see if we'll go as high as we can go, all the scaffolding, and I'll run to the top, and then, and then we'll see how much of this we can see, and hope I don't fall off the top of it. That was actually the best part of the competition on raid days. We were able to go and explore everybody's colony in the what were we, spectator mode, which was really cool. This is the first time I've done this, so oh, hello. Okay. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So here we are, my nice herder area. I still have to add a whole bunch of trees and little gardens and things. Scaffolding is your friend. Oh my god. It's so funny because I get started and I play and I play and I play and I get annoyed that I'm not able to fly around and stuff like that. And then I'm like, oh right, scaffolding is a thing. So we're pretty high up. I was pretty high up to start with. So I actually have this funny little bit of biome over there that has snow. Some of the colonies were super insane, and like I said, having the 3 that were cavern but on the surface was so bizarre to watch. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. There was a village, a part of a village here. I've actually moved all the villagers down the hill because I didn't want them inside my colony borders because they get confused with the beds a lot of the time. But this is pretty cool to see it this way. Oh my goodness. And then this bit was a valley, and I just dug the sides a bit more straight. So it's pretty cool to see it from that. I can probably do that on the front too, as well. Um, but yeah, that's it is difficult for me to switch to a survival situation when I'm so used to being in creative. And I know that the rest of the Patreons get a kick out of me a lot of time because there's like basic survival play things that I'm not aware of, that you can do certain things and stuff like that because I don't play in survival. I just build stuff, y'all. That's what I do. But actually playing sometimes is so fun, and I end up actually making a lot of changes to my builds and stuff like that because of stuff that I learn in playing in the survival. Um, Yeah, the dirt pillars. I remember there was one of the servers where there was a mod in there actually that actually prevented the nerd poles. Like if you tried to jump up and like it prevented them entirely, which I know is something that a lot of servers do put on there. Um, but yeah, the views are great from all angles. Like, look at this. I love this. I do love being able to, and I might actually have to change this out to something else because I'm like, I can't see this part here. So maybe I'll make it glass or something like that, change it out. But I still have a lot of decoration work. There definitely were people that, like especially some of the teams, they were on like nonstop and they built so hard, and everything was like so gorgeous in their colonies. But like the day after the raid competition ended, we haven't seen them since because they're like, everything's done. I have nothing else to do. And I'm like, I still have so much to do. Um, so I have a lot of big plans for sure on so many areas of this colony, but I'm totally loving, honestly, doing this. I do have a couple of styles in progress that have been in progress for a while, that I will eventually get back to, but this is fun. I'm really enjoying this for sure. But I think it's time that I gotta go. And I am so grateful to y'all for joining me. Um, some of the most, no, Flynn, this one was great, honestly. Like, this is probably my favorite Patreon server that I've been on in quite some time. And especially with a whole bunch of us established already, I quite often go give welcome gift backpacks to people who come on. So join us. It's super fun. And Mr. Village, hey, can I ask you a thing? Who was responsible for Hellenic? Oh, that's a good question. Um, do we have Hellenic in this? Ah, you know what? I can't recall, but I'll find out and I will put it in the comments for you. I'll find out who did Hellenic because you're right, that one was absolutely um, super gorgeous. But anyway, I think after this all finishes, if you came in late, you should be able to go back and see all my ramblings from the beginning. Um, and yeah, I plan on doing more of these as I'm doing this. Danger Boops tells me I should have started these streams from the very first day of the competition so that people could watch my progress, but I was scared to do it. This is, I was like, am I just going to sit and talk to myself by myself for an hour? But then you guys showed up, and I'm like super happy you did. So thank you so much. And yeah, I'm going to try and do this at least a couple times a week, probably more. Just when I start playing, I'll just start doing this. So may not be regularly scheduled times or anything like that. But yeah, you're all, I'm so happy to have you join me anytime. And as the rain shows up in game, the same as it is outside my actual windows, I'm going to too early, I know. But let's make it a surprise. Yeah, let's do that. It'll be great. Okay, so thank you guys so much. How is it I always finish? I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day and that we see you again very, very soon. Bye bye.